The man of the hour today is actually Marco Rubio. Even though President Trump is on screen, President Trump does a phenomenal job of the speech at the Board of Peace meeting, talks about Iran, talks about other countries. It's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But man, once we get into that Marco Rubio segment of this video, I think you're going to love it. He is truly carving a phenomenal path for himself. You got Marco Rubio, JD Vance, President Trump, Pete Hegseth, just a powerhouse team. Let's get into this video, shall we? Hit the like, subscribe, please. Let's see where this takes us.
One of the keys to it was when we took those beautiful, magnificent, we just ordered 22 more of them, updated model. The B-2 bombers are incredible. I never understood the B-2 bomber. I'd watch, it's a wing, and I've never quite understood that, Johnny. I'd look at it, I'd say it was beautiful, but what does it do? It carries very big bombs. And it went into Iran, and it totally decimated the nuclear potential. And when it decimated that, all of a sudden we had peace in the Middle East, because there was a black cloud hanging over the Middle East, and if that wasn't done, that cloud would have been there. And countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like Qatar, countries like, nobody could have signed. You would have had that threat. Nobody could have had, you couldn't have had peace in the Middle East. So now we may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
10 days. But the kicker about this, keep in mind that when the United States has historically done really big operations overseas, it's usually done on a Friday. And the reason for that is to not have any sort of crazy economic backlash on the United States stock market, because we know that the fear index obviously goes up when there's military action, when there's heavy military involvement. It sounds crazy, right? Like he would do a military strike on a Friday or Saturday to avoid stonks going down. But when you're talking about trillions of dollars, yeah, it actually makes quite a bit of sense. So I think that we're going to see something Friday, right, in the next like 24, 48 hours, or in 7 days from now, next Friday. But I think you're going to see something really soon.
And again, Mr. President, thank you for having the vision and the courage to pursue something that has never been done before, and we're not done yet. And thank you to Steve Woodcock and Jared Kushner for the time and the work they've put into this. And thank you on behalf of the State Department and the U.S. government to all of the nations that are here. Every one of you is indispensable, including our observer partners, who we hope can find your way to join us at some point as officially part of this. But we are grateful for the fact you're here today and the contributions you've made already. Thank you.
We have your friend sitting in the back. Your best friend sitting in the back is Marco. Marco does it with a velvet glove, but it's a kill. Right? The result is the same. They do it very differently. And Marco, you really did yourself proud 2 days ago in Munich. In fact, so proud that I almost terminated his employee, because they were saying, why can't Trump do this? I do, but I say it differently. But Marco, don't do any better than you did, please. Because if you do, you're out of here. But no, I want my guys to do great. And the acclaim he's gotten and the acclaim JD gets is great.
Oh, they are phenomenal for their own ways. But if we just zone in on Marco Rubio, he is so witty with his words. He has a very professional tone, and he commands attention when he speaks in a room. His speech in Munich was so freaking phenomenal. Right? Let me know down in the comments who you guys would like to see as president after Trump. Would you rather Marco Rubio or JD Vance? Let me know what you guys think.
They were trying to make too good a deal, and I got a little upset with them. And in the end, they got what they wanted, right? And they made a good deal. And I got to like them, the prime minister, the field marshal, who's a tough man, good fighter, right? Good, serious fighter. I like good fighters, actually. And when I heard that they were fighting, I picked up a certain newspaper. I won't tell you which one, because it's fake news generally. But I picked up this newspaper, and I saw that Pakistan and India were really going at it. And then it got worse and worse, and many planes were shot down. It was all out. And I called them. I said, listen, I'm not doing trade deals with you two guys if you don't settle this up. They said, no, that has both of them. They didn't want to do that. I said, no, it has to. If you don't do it, I'm not doing a trade deal. We're not doing a trade deal. And they do a lot of business with the United States, and they sort of softened up all of a sudden. Then all of a sudden I read where there was a little bit of a pullback by one, then the other, and all of a sudden we worked out a deal, right? But I said, if you fight, I'm going to put 200% tariffs on each of your countries, which essentially makes you not allowed, you can't do any business. One of them, I won't say which one, said, no, you can't do that. They both wanted to fight. But when it came to money, it's nothing like money. When it came to losing a lot of money, they said, I guess we don't want to fight. And we solved that deal.
President Trump solving wars before they happen by using tariffs, by using sanctions, is gotta be just a phenomenal feat for any president to have. He truly is the president of peace.
We hope that this can serve as a model for other complex and difficult situations so they can be solved in the same way. But right now the focus is on this one. We have to get this right. There is no plan B for Gaza. Plan B is going back to war. No one here wants that. Plan A, the only path forward, is one that rebuilds Gaza in a way of enduring and sustainable peace, where everyone can live there side by side with one another and never worry again about returning to conflict, to war, to human suffering, and to destruction. I want to talk a little bit about the strategic vision of this organization and begin doing so by first acknowledging that we are here today because the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, has both an ability and a willingness to use the power of his office to think outside the box. And that's why we're here today. This was a very unique crisis in Gaza, one that the existing international institutions could not solve or figure out. It needed a very specific type solution that required the partnership of all the nations that are here, including those that are here on an observer status. And we appreciate you coming today and being a part of this as well.
So I want to thank the many leaders and dignitaries who have traveled great distances and lengths for the important gathering that we're at right now. This building was built for peace, and nobody knew what to name it. And then Marco named it after me. I had nothing to do with it. I swear I didn't. I swear. I had no idea. They said, there's a surprise coming. I didn't know that surprise. I thought they were going to give me a lot of money or something, maybe cash. Could always use some extra cash. But I came, and they stopped the beautiful beast. I got out very safely, I'm sure, and looked up, and there it said, Donald J. Trump on the building. And when I say that had nothing to do, nobody believes it, and that's okay, but I appreciated it. That was Marco and JD and a group got together and they did that, and I just thought it was very nice. And it makes me work harder. We're gonna have to work harder. We're gonna have to make this building much more important. It's brand new. They built it for peace, but nobody occupied it. Nobody knew what the purpose of it, but the architecture is so beautiful, and it was with the meeting rooms, the reception rooms. It's really amazing. Who would think that it was built without anybody in mind or anything in mind? And then the State Department took it over. They liked it. Marco came over one day. He saw this. He said, "This building is great," and he actually claimed it. Right? He claimed it, and that's what he does. Where is Marco? I said, Marco. Is that true? You claimed this building. You took it away from about 5 groups that wanted it. That was done very quickly, very methodically. But it was really built so beautifully and such a beautiful building. We have a first year like probably no other ever in our country because we settled 8 wars and I think a 9th to come. It's turned out to be a tougher one. I thought that was going to be the easiest one. But with war, you never know what's easy and what's not so easy. But we've had a great relationship. We have a first year like probably no other ever in our country because we settled 8 wars.
That's incredible.
And I think a 9th to come. It's turned out to be a tougher one. I thought that was going to be.
President, very much for your leadership, but also for the kind words about me personally. I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but then after the president said that I was so smart and that I didn't want to repeat our congresswoman who froze for 20 seconds over in Munich, now I'm tempted, sir, just to freeze for 20 seconds and just stare at the cameras, and maybe they'll say nice things about me like they do about Congresswoman Cortez.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is this is, of course, a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the video. That is it. I like JD Vance. I love Marco Rubio, and we love President Trump. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in another one. Bye for now.